Hello everyone, I'm Daniela and today I'm gonna show you how to cover a jar with macrame. I really like how this is a stylish way of repurposing and it's also super on trend right now. So let's start by measuring and cutting the cord. Depending on the jar, you can make an estimate of how much cord you need. Grab a piece of cord, wrap it around the neck of the jar and mark where the two ends meet. Make sure the cord is long enough to tie into a bow later on. Measure this piece and you have the perimeter. You will also need vertical strands to go around the entire jar. Each of these needs to be at least 2.5 times the height of the jar. Now we just need to make some calculations. My cords are about 2 mm thick, so I have to divide the perimeter by 2. Then I multiply the height of the vertical cords by the amount of cords that I need. And this is my estimate. The measurements will change a lot depending on the jar that you're using or the thickness of the cord. So you just have to keep in mind to add or remove cords in multiples of 4, 8 or even 16 like I'm doing, and adjust the design that you're making according to the amount of cords that you have. Next we are ready to cut the cords. Since the vertical ones will be folded in half, cut them with at least 5 times the height of the jar. Double the amount you measured in the estimate. I think it's best to just cut and add them as you go, so you don't waste any more cord than necessary. Just remember to add them in multiples. If you're making the same design as me, you will also need to cut one of them with extra cords to go around the entire jar 3 times. Attach the vertical cords to the one you'll tie around the neck of the jar by making a lark's head knot. You join both hands together, folding the cord in half, place the cord behind the other one, and put the ends through the loop. Do this until you have all the cords in place. Then tie it around. I did it with the bow so I can remove it in the future in case I need to wash it. Now grab the longer cord, this will be your static cord, at least for now, pull it to the right over all the others and tie the next one below it, the second one, around it twice. Repeat with the next cord. Hold the static one and not the one below around it twice. Repeat the same process all across the jar and try to keep all the knots with the same distance from the top. Once the row is complete, we can move on to the V or arrow-shaped knots. I grabbed and separated a section of 16 cords. As I said before, this can be different depending on your cord and jar. Then I'm going to repeat the same double half-hitch knot, but with the first and last cord coming towards the center, like this, creating the V. Bring the first cord to the left, this will be the static cord, and cross it to the right at an angle over the others. Then take the next cord that's below it and tie it around twice. The angle with which you hold the static cord will determine where the line of knots will be, so make sure to keep it as even as possible. Keep on knotting until you reach the middle. Then repeat the process with the last cord on the right, aka your new static cord. Bring it over the others at an angle and knot the ones below it twice around, until you reach the middle again. Then just tie the static cord from the left row around it as well. Now you just have to repeat the pattern across the jar. Next, to finalize the whole thing, make another horizontal row of knots, just like the first one. Make sure to find the longest cord and knot all the others around it. Trim the excess cord, and that is it. You can use this jar as a candle or pen holder, a vase, or even just as a decor piece, but I'm sure there are other countless ways to use this technique to cover other type of objects as well. Let me know if you're making this project by tagging me on Instagram so I can see it and I can share it on my stories. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!